Ready?
Pardon me, please.
Hello, how are you?
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Everyone stand as you flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Public Open Meeting Act has been given by the Borough Clerk in the following manner: posted on the bulletin board in the Borough Clerk's office and emailed to the retrospect and the Courier Post. Will you please have roll call?
1 second, this is in one for There we go. Chairwoman Cleveland.
Yes.
Mr. Alkerly.
Here.
Ms. Bushin. Here. Ms. Dodds.
Ms. Dodds excused.
Mr. Vanella.
Here.
Mr. Farner. Mr. Wozen.
Here.
Mayor Kapaz.
Is excused.
Mr. Ranieri.
Here.
Ms. Burke. Here. Ms. Walker. Here. Mr. Rowan.
Here.
It's Mr.
DeRosa.
DeRosa.
Steve Lott. Here.
Thank you. First order of business is the approval of the minutes for the January 26th meeting. Is there a motion on the floor to approve the minutes or any questions?
I'll make a motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Ranieri, seconded by Mr. Fennell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Old business, we have resolution 22-11, Mr. Rowan.
Yes, Madam Chairman, this was a resolution for family of Runnemede, Inc. for premises 129 South Black Horse Pike, Block 105, lots 102, 77, 01, 8, and 9. As the board recalls, this was a rehearing to amend a condition for lot consolidation. There was testimony and exhibits showing the proposed deed of consolidation where we are excluding one lot out of that, of what we had requested the initial hearing. And in order to give the borough protection, so that that one lot can never be used as a standalone used car dealer or business, there is a deed restriction that's going to be recorded with the county, giving everyone notice if that property was ever sold individually, that use cannot be used as a used car lot unless it's in conjunction with the dealership that currently exists on lots 102, 77, 01, 8, and 9.
Are there any questions on resolution 22-11 from the board?
My question would be, what does it revert back to what it was, the original use? If that happened?
If somebody bought it, John, somebody could come in and use property for whatever use was permitted, but they could not use it as a used car lot.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Are there any questions on the board? I'll entertain a motion to adopt resolution 22-11.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution.
Mr. Operate, second.
Second.
Discussion, we have roll call, please.
Chairwoman Cleveland.
Yes.
Mr. Alkerly.
Yes.
Ms. Bushin.
Yes.
Mr. Vanella.
Yes.
Mr. Rosen.
Yes.
You can't vote, that was a use variance. That's 5 ayes.
Okay. We will adopt that resolution 22-11. Under new business, Mr. Ray Brand, I'm going to defer to you. We had an application on the docket that this morning was deemed not to be heard this evening. I will defer to
That's
you.
correct, Madam Chairman. Based on the review letter of our engineer, Bach and Associates, and with, after my conversation with the attorney that represents the adjacent apartment complex, it was determined that the notice that was given to the public and the notice that was published in the newspaper was defective. It had to, notice has to include all property owners within 200 feet of the property on which the easement that this application intended to use lies. And that easement goes through the one side of that apartment complex. I advised Keith Davis, the attorney for the applicant, that we could not proceed tonight because we did not have jurisdiction. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to notify the public. I just got a letter today, February 23rd, which was sent to Joyce, indicating that they were requesting that it be taken off the agenda and to be put on the March agenda.
I did put it on the website and on Facebook.
Oh, okay, all right, okay, you did, that's good, because I know a lot, we
Yes.
expect a lot of public to come out, but
Well, that's why we held,
Yeah.
I had no other reason to have the meeting except for this, to at least tell people, I don't want to put a note.
yeah,
on
no,
the
but
door.
you said you didn't want the public coming to the door and
Right.
there's a sign and
Right.
your meeting's
Right.
canceled. Yeah.
So, the public will be renoticed within 200 feet,
Everybody's gonna be noticed within 200 feet.
including the people that were already noticed.
Everybody's gonna be renoticed.
Yeah, because that way.
In
they'll-
addition to, everybody within 200
Easement.
feet of the lot that
Correct.
has the apartment complex.
Right. I just want to make sure everybody is aware of, because at this point in time, we're not really sure whether they're going to be on the agenda for March or not.
Right, whenever we
At
can,
this- at this point in time.
the board can accommodate.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that everybody's renoticed, and then
Right.
they can come back accordingly.
And this was requested, they requested of Joyce, March 23rd, and if Joyce can't get that on the agenda, she'll just have to call Mr. Davis. He was, very accommodating, very nice, he understood, look, he was not happy,
Right,
but I said, Runnemede's pretty
Law's
conservative when
law.
it comes to notice the people.
Law's law.
It's got to be according to law.
so everyone understands that out in the public, here this evening for the townhouse application. That application is not going to be heard tonight because of the defective notifications that they did not proceed with. Legally, we cannot hear their application, and legally, we will not be able to entertain any questions whatsoever or comments from the public on this particular application because the applicants are not present. So we cannot entertain any questions, any type of conversation whatsoever about this application. We are not sure at this point in time whether it will be heard on the March 23rd agenda or not. It will be posted as soon as they have given proper notice and that we are sure that everything is in order and that their application is deemed complete. So if you're here for that particular application, it will not be heard tonight. We will not entertain any conversation whatsoever regarding the application. You can certainly check in with our web page and Ms. Pinto. She would be happy to tell you as we get closer to the date of March 23rd whether or not their application has been deemed complete and whether it will be heard on that particular date. So sorry for your inconvenience. It was something on the side of the applicant that unfortunately was done, but legally we cannot hear it this evening. So there will be a public portion of the meeting after good and welfare, but I will not be able to entertain any conversation whatsoever regarding that application. Is there anything else you want to do?
I'd just like to thank Madam Chairperson for being professional and taking the time not to cancel this meeting, but to tell everybody she appreciate your interest, and we'll make sure you get the right notice when. Thank you.
Welcome. You're more than welcome, sure. Okay. As far as my report, I'm going to say we have progress. Do we have any movement on the tattoo parlor at all?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. So that's the only thing that I've had a couple of phone calls about, whether or not how we're proceeding with that.
I did speak with him, and he did say he's moving along very well. He's got a couple more weeks constantly.
Cool. Now my question is, it says no pain on the side.
Hey,
It's what it says. On the side of the building, it says professional something and pain-free or
It's
something.
going to be in conjunction with
I don't
the
know.
pot
With the-
retailer.
yeah, with the- I don't know how it's working out,
They
but
knock you out.
yeah, I don't know how, not sure how that's
They
working.
come to do
It's
that.
stick ones.
Maybe they're henna tattoos. All right, so,
Can we add something? You're talking tattoo parlor from my end.
well, you have a seat, I'm gonna call good and welfare. And then,
I'm part of the borough, remember, I'm the zoning officer.
no, I'm just saying, any comments from the public on the good welfare,
I'm
okay?
not the public.
He has a.
I have the public.
Okay, come
I'm the
on,
zoning officer. Now, if you don't want me at the meetings, I won't.
come on, Hansel.
Okay, well, first of all, tattoos we found don't have, not required by the state license. We ran a problem with the massage parlor. Massage parlors, they changed last night, correct, Tricia? They introduced, they didn't bring that up last night? Okay, must be for the following. The massage licenses fall under the state now,
Okay,
not the borough.
okay,
So there, we haven't figured out zoning wise, I could give them a zoning permit for using the building, but the borough issues the massage licensing. It's not zoning. So what they went through from, down from the office, Long's office, down on, he removed any action from the borough has to take.
okay.
There's a draft out there. So, but tattoo isn't regulated by the state, so they still have to follow through to the borough to get there, but the massage parlors now don't go through that. The state makes them carry insurance, a license. But the only question we came up with is, what do we have for the Board of Health?
Go through the health, let's say the health department, right?
Is that who we use?
County.
We call the county?
Yeah,
Because that's the next part to put them to, is that he has to go over and meet their qualifications of what the state says he has to have, not so much.
we ran into that, Bernie, with, the daycare center that wanted to open about 5 years ago, remember?
Okay.
They wanted to open up, and they had to go through the health department, it wasn't under our purview.
Well, the problem, we can't give them a CO until council approves them as a business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that's what they introduced some, they passed some stuff back, because I brought that up, that the guy goes, well, yeah, so your client has to get a fingerprinted photograph.
Yeah.
Then he goes, well, he's been doing this for 2 years, and then we looked in the state, the ordinance is from 1999, and the state law changed in 2012. So they superseded us, so that's why Dan Long's going back and reread that to make some sense. We don't know if we're gonna find any more like that, or what the borough was licensing some people, even though the state actually holds the license for that position. We have, if you go in there and you read it, physicians and stuff are waived.
Okay.
Hairdressing, we found out that, and this is all from Gray Point, this is all coming from Gray Point, because he's using individual rooms for businesses.
Okay.
And then what we found out was, if you're a hairdresser or a nail salon, you have to have your fire, you have to have your license permit to the fire before you can go any farther. That actually,
Bernie, is there an issue, or are we just trying to make sure everybody has their ducks in a row?
well, we couldn't issue it because the borough, it says that mayor and council issues that license for massage.
But Bernie, it's more than that. It's the building itself. It could be zoned for that use, but
Right.
there's requirements within the building, dressing rooms.
Yes, and that's where the health.
Partitions, and that's the part that,
We can't, as zoning, I don't.
Do you
that.
want,
That's not
would you like,
under zoning.
council, would you like me to take a good look at that
Oh, it's already,
ordinance
you'll get it.
and review it, change it?
Oh, it's already changed.
Okay.
It's coming to you slowly.
Okay.
Okay, but the guy over there, what's everybody gonna understand is, the guy at Great Point is a pinpoint person, meaning he's letting people, he's doing all the work for everybody who's running the rooms. And he's in charge of it. But he was sending us, he never sent us the contract the first time. And the secretary, Diane, and I said, you're gonna need the contract. Then he didn't realize these people have licenses. He didn't even realize there was a massage license.
We're talking about Mall Stature McNeil building, right?
Yes, yes.
Has anybody been in there, inside of it?
No.
It's amazing.
Beautiful.
It's
It's
amazing.
really nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
But if you have certain things that you're into,
No, it's not, it's really nice.
it is, it's supposed to be very nice. Scott said the guy's very good.
All right.
Very
Mr. Bill.
nice, too.
Yeah, it's good for the town, yeah.
But they have to get him, a nail salon gets him to approve before we approve.
Good.
Rather than we approve and then he approves, they have to have it all submitted to him, and he could not submit one inspection. Everybody's an individual inspection for fire. So everything else is. The new construction official, Woody, basically, he said the rules, that's the rules, we're not changing the rules, so we don't get confused, okay? So if you have something to come back, just send it on my email. Some of the stuff, like I said, Dave has been very good. I've had to call him and there's some questions on some signs and how to read it. And the idea is try not to keep people coming here. There are people, I don't know the whole process of how you come to you people. We tell them to go to the front office. Joyce, that's the best I can tell them.
I don't know if everybody knows, Bernie's taking over.
That's why Bernie's seat's right there. Or somebody right there, Bernie.
Construction official.
That's your seat right there.
And he's for all the training, and he's taking
That's your
over
seat.
zoning officer.
Right. But I'm just trying to say, when we have something, we're trying to get them to do the right method.
Sure.
Somebody put up a lean-to out there, too close to the property line, don't have the 5-foot unattached, 7-foot attached.
Yep.
He goes, where do I go? So you gotta go to the planning board.
Well, and then that's something that, we'll all get worked out, but that's why I was addressing as a member of the public. That's your chair.
Well, I asked you where I was sitting, everybody.
You didn't ask me, and you have a chair at the table, my friend.
Well, that's
And I
okay.
appreciate everything
You
you
get one of
do.
these, I don't know.
I have one,
You get
because
one
there's other
of these,
names on the project.
Nah,
Dave, I have a question for Dave, you got to bring it back.
Yeah.
I mean, and try to keep as much away from here
You can have one.
sure.
as to what it, or get them to come in at the right site.
Yeah, the thing is, Bernie, what we got away from a few years ago was what used to be referred to as informals.
Right.
Because informals, what they basically did was they would bring a resident or a business person in under the guise of if they could possibly kind of poll the board
Right,
and
that's not
see what we thought. Well, we can't do that. We can't poll the board. We can't do anything legally because if they have an application, they have an application. We don't take any informals whatsoever
Right.
because that's a prejudice to what we actually may end up voting for or against. So we
Right.
we don't accept them. Not only encourage them, we don't accept any informals. They have something that has to come in front of us. They have to go through Joyce and they have to go through the process of going through whatever it is.
What we started also, because I came from an oriented system, like 25 years of doing ID work, we're following by block and lot the zoning permits and the zoning information. So if you people want to question, it should be back in the block and lot, not what order, number, don't have to go, if I go to a block and lot and something was approved, then you can pull it out and it'll be sitting in a block and lot. If everybody don't understand, any permits that are in the office over there are in my block and lot. And they're all in order from 01 all the way up to the 150, 149.
And I will say to you, as a board, if something were to come up, a block and lot is what we need legally, but also we need a reference point as, okay, lot 7, lot 22, kid trips.
Yes.
I'm saying, we need all that in the subject line for us to be able to correlate what we're doing. You know what I mean, rather than saying, okay, time out, we gotta go.
Not just an address here, if it's a
That-
business, we need
yeah.
a business name.
Got it, business name, it's all
We're trying to
right.
follow up with the businesses.
Yep,
Joyce has done real well getting the business licenses
Oh,
out
yeah.
there coming in, right?
Yeah.
And we're working on the residential home.
65 now.
Yeah, and we got a few home licenses, right?
Yes.
I did get a few of them. I had one of the gentlemen from, one of our, older gentlemen, he didn't understand it, but if you have a business at your house, either you have a business somewhere else or you're operating out of your house.
oh yeah,
Because we have people that have businesses that they think are at their house, but they actually have big businesses somewhere else, and you have home offices. So that's not a home business, but if you have a home business, if you don't have another address, then we're calling that a home business. And it's just following the paperwork, and then you gotta follow the rules of what it
yeah,
is.
follow the rules, how many cars you have parked, all that good stuff.
Exactly.
Kind of like that guy who shoot,
Yeah, he's don't know exactly what we're doing there. But I didn't realize, and I was here when the ordinance was written, the trail ordinance, if it's hooked to your vehicle, it's not a violation for overnight. But if it's not hooked to your vehicle, it's parked overnight, the police can go out and issue summonses. But I don't remember it being, if it was connected.
It's a loophole.
It's a loophole. Well, no, that means you didn't stop and just drop it there. It can be moved.
Gets irritating when people leave their mobile homes and things on the street, it's narrow.
What's worse?
John, I tell you what, it's like driving a fire truck, when you turn a corner,
Oh,
and that trailer's sitting out, and you only have inches to get by, and you're.
tear it up.
And I mean, that was where it came from, because I've almost hit a few. When you turn a corner, people got these, and there's no reflectors on them.
No.
So when I said, do you?
And we should enforce that for sure.
My email's there, b.moore@runnemede. You got any questions, or something you want to look into,
Okay.
send something to me, and I can research it.
On the same note, if you don't mind, Candy, is there anything that, we can refresh ourselves or our new members could, is there, online classes or, because I know we've watched things before.
Or there are classes that they're required to take.
They already took them.
Oh, okay, great.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Okay.
Anything you may want to, also to go back and review a lot of what we've done, right? Because everything's recorded, we go on Dan's blog, we look at different things that were done.
Sure.
But
Absolutely.
Realize that.
Yeah,
There wasn't much to look at in the past few months, but
yeah, but the best is yet to come, so.
the best is yet to come.
Right.
That's right.
We're gonna have
That's
some
right,
fun.
John.
Gotta make it fun, no matter what we do.
Thank you, Candy.
There we go.
Thanks, Bernie.
Okay, I'll see you. Shut up.
Thanks, Bernie.
You wanna take your seat?
Yeah, I'll see that, shut up.
Isn't it proper that the zoning officer has to wear a white shirt?
I'm sorry.
And a
The
bag.
IDs are supposed to be being made for everybody. Once Mrs. Kelly and gets approval, the fire company's gonna make the IDs for everybody. It's just buying the software. We have the machine and all the plastic and everything. We just don't have the updated software. So that was talked about, and I don't know if she brought it up last night at the caucus. I don't think she did.
For all of the board meeting, for all of us?
Well, you should all have ID for being in the building. If you're in the building, your name tag should be with you. So if somebody challenges you, how do you know who you are?
We don't have, no, we were talking about it, we did talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, you have it.
Yeah.
He's talking about construction
Yeah,
officials.
no,
Yeah,
this
well-
is construction officials. They
I'd rather have a badge.
people
Yeah, you
say-
need a badge.
Well, no, and,
Nobody knows who you are.
well, no, the fact of the matter is, we talked about it years ago, that, you know, I, for one, try to visit almost all the properties that we are speaking on. So I was told to get a badge and an ID and stuff, and it just never came to fruition. But I've had people come out to me and say, "Excuse me, can I help you?" And, you know, me and Steve Bach and John or whoever will be out there with, you know, plans folded out on top of their shrubs, you know, literally looking at different things and checking measurements and stuff like that. And you're right, we should have a badge and an ID,
Yeah.
because
You
they,
don't need a badge. You just need.
whatever we need.
Badge.
I don't want anything. I haven't had anything. I just don't know who I am.
Well, the approach from zoning is, we're going to approach with a better view of what the people are and talk to them,
Yeah,
not go to a complaint and a summons.
sure, absolutely.
Because most people don't know what you're talking about,
Right.
and there are other ones, and then we try, the records are kept. There's some people who don't want to listen, and that's when you have to go to the other route.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's kind of, especially with today's world, it's nice to at least have an identification to say, this is why I'm standing on your property.
Right, well, I had that today, I went down, I was doing a driveway, I had to go measure the backyard, and I had a little white car. I didn't have ID, but the lady waved to me at the window.
Right.
She knew.
Let's face it, everybody knows you two. You guys have been around here for,
Yeah.
many years.
But my Corvette doesn't have a,
No,
don't be
no,
on the
that's
side,
right.
but
I
yeah,
had
okay.
nothing on it, but I did have the car, which was parked right at the street, so the lady didn't get upset and call 911.
Yeah, now everybody, yeah, but it's just, I get it. They walk out and they say, can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, I have plans in my hand. They correlate that with, okay, I guess she's not a bad person, but, no, I agree with you, it's my ID for everybody, what the heck. If you're gonna, and frankly, I encourage everybody sitting here to go visit the properties. Because how do you speak articulately about what we're voting on unless you've been out to the property and you've visited it and you've taken a look at it with your own two eyes and say,
Three-dimensional.
that's okay, that's gonna work, that's not gonna work, I have a question on this. So when the applicant comes in front of you, you can say, okay, is this pool gonna get moved? Or are you gonna leave it there? Or is this fence gonna get moved? Because to look at something on paper, it's okay, but it's not the same as going out to visit the site. So thanks, Vern, appreciate it. At this point, we're going to open up the meeting to the public under good and welfare. Anyone in the public wishing to speak on any matter, please come to the front and state your name and address and be heard.
Seeing nobody from the public wishing to speak, I make a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion is made by Mr. Oakley, second by Mr. Vanella. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion to close the public portion. All in favor of adjournment at 7:28.
Aye.
Mr. Ranieri and Mr. Oakley. Motion is accepted at 7:28. Thank you very much.